a little bit about the importance of sound. Sound is much more important than you currently understand. Sound is the primal energy that is used to create. Sound came first. It opens doors to different dimensions. It can trigger memories from early childhood and previous lifetimes. It releases pain and emotional trauma on a cellular level. It is a catalyst for reawakening wisdom stored in our cellular memory. Sound has always been considered a direct link to the divine. Many cultures recognize the importance of music and sound as a healing power. It allows us to be who we truly are. Crystal bowl music is a form of vibrational medicine which validates that everything in the universe is in a state of vibration. And the frequency at which an object or person vibrates is called resonance. The chakras, bones and organs all possess a different resonant frequency. A body is in a healthy state of being when each cell, each organ creates a resonance that is in harmony with the whole being. All illness is blocked energy. Crystal bowl music emits a pure holographic template of radiant light. A series of crystal bowl therapies facilitates the rebalancing of each receiver back into an elevated level of etheric radiance. It also weaves the energy back together after surgery. And we sort of like get connected into the universe and into the earth with our chakras. And I work on people, and it's I sometimes put the bowls on the body, the small ones, not the big ones. Don't want to squash people. And people have different experiences. Like it can release pain. I'm not saying releases the pain for everybody, but like if I have pain, I just go and play an instrument that I know that's going to take the pain away, because I'm not very good at coping with. I don't like pain. Well, I don't think anybody really likes pain, really. But like, I get rid of it with the sound. And so the Tibetan singing bowls it's the same system, really. Like, if I feel the pain on somebody, I just use the instrument as sort of, I didn't learn how to do this, it was spirit. Wairua, they guided me to which instruments to use. And sometimes, you know, like the high ones are for the crown chakra, you know, the higher ones are for up here, but sometimes I do really low sounds up here. So it's not always, I think all those things are the rules and regulations that people put around it is sort of like, they have to have rules and regulations to teach it, I think. And because when Wairua guides you, or Spirit guides you, then there is no rules, because it just gets decided of what's happening there and then. And it can change. Each one in the room connect with each other's heart. We're in a circle, and the heart, the love vibration is for each one in the group, for all of Ōpōtiki, for all of New Zealand, for the oneness, for Mother Earth and the Sky Father. We are all one, and to emanate the love and the light to all existence. sometimes get told to play for different places, like when there's a lot of hate going towards countries, like people hate America because of the, and it's got nothing to do with the American people, it's the control that is there. And so emanate the love to all those countries that people just hate for one reason or another.
Where did you get your bowls from?
They're from America. They're from Houston, Texas. Yeah. And
Do any of
I
them
got
have...
them in 1996.
Could you pick a particular story about one of those bowls that you could tell them?
Well, when I first got them, like the lady where I got them from, she lived in Raglan, and she kept contacting me for me to go and learn, and I could not afford it, I could not afford to go and learn how to use them. So I sat down with them, and I heard a voice saying, "We are your teachers." So they are my teachers. They taught me how to use them. And like through experience, like I know that in 1990, before I had them, we played in a huge big hall in Nelson, and we were wanting to go full on with them. So we decided each one plays one of them, and then we go all full on together. And they said to me, because I already do work with sound, for me to say when to finish, when to stop. And so we did the first of each bowl, and then we started going around, and I had one of the big ones, and I only went around about the third, and I had this voice in my head going, "Stop now!" And I was going like, "Oh God, I'm not gonna keep doing that, and all the others were glaring at me, "How dare you stop?" But and I said, "Well, you told me when we were back, went off the stage, and they all went off at me. Oh, why did you stop? And we wanted to go full on and blah blah blah." Because it was a huge big hall, we expected it was alright, but no, it wasn't. Like, I had about 5 people come up to me and said, "Man, I was so pleased when you stopped." They started feeling like they were gonna pass out.
So is that how you receive messages? It's like an impression. Is it like you mentioned someone told me, or I got told to go and do something?
Well, it's me really. I feel, it's our own void war that guides us. It's sort of like we separate I shouldn't say we. I separate myself, but like when it's a voice in my head going, "Stop now," that was obviously, I don't know if that's my higher self, or I don't know. Or sometimes when I get messages, it's just a knowing. When I would get told, "Drive towards Kaikoura," and then I just drive. And then I just get shown by...
So sorry, I'm just trying to get an idea and a flavour for the world that you operate in. So are these voices like a subtle impression, or are they, "Karanna, go to Kaitaia," or something? Or is it like...
It's more like that's more not really voices, that's sort of like a knowing. Like sometimes I will get woken up at 2 in the morning and say, "Go." The direction, but not knowing where I'm going. And it's sort of like, when I first started doing that, it was really hard for me, because I thought, I'm going crazy. Being brought up in the Catholic Church, they didn't really prepare me for all this, And, New Zealand opened me up to trust, because I had this friend from the Urevira, and he used to tell me about his kuya that used to just go, and when she gets told. And I believe that he was telling me about his kuya because I'd never heard that before. I never heard of people do that. And I felt that that's why he had to tell me about his kuya, that she just gets told to get up early in the morning and go somewhere, and that sort of, and she was through all that mahi, she was my kaitiaki, she was my guide, would say, okay, when I was starting to freak out, going, oh no, I'm going crazy, where am I going now, you know? But yeah, she was always there to say, all good, yeah. So yeah, and a lot of the times it's the birds that show the way. If I didn't know the way, like it's the hawk, or the hokioi as well comes, the New Zealand eagle, that's not in the physical anymore, he shows the way sometimes. In the bush it's the fantail, and yeah, they show the way, so yeah.
So after a session like this, people could expect to go away and feel what?
Relaxed, and it can take the pain away.
Yes, pain.
Yeah, and everybody, like, I know I worked on a young man and he got off the table and he said, I'm everything. And he was only 21 and I go, oh my God, that's amazing to have that experience. So it sort of makes that feeling of being one with everything. I don't know, Tim had quite a few sessions with me, and for him it would be different each time, for you. Each time he comes it's different again, because each time it's a different day and it's a different experience. So,
Thank you.
So if anyone has any more questions or...
I have one. Have you worked with children, toddlers and kids?
I've worked with babies.
Yes.
I've worked twins that I've only just recently met again,
Right.
that were not well, and they were...
Tell us the story about that 2-year-old. You were telling us the story.
Oh, the 2-year-old, yeah, when I used to go Mind Body Spirit festivals, you know, and I was always outside in a tent, and this little two and a half year old girl comes, says, your tent is full of angels. And then I go, oh wow, and she goes, can't you see them? And I go, no. And she goes, why not? And I go, because I grew up. And she goes, oh. So I said, don't grow up. Keep believing that you're seeing those things. It's funny how it stops, and it comes a lot from the grown-up saying, oh, you're just making it up or whatever, you know, that sort of stops it. The fear of the grown-ups. Oh no, they're seeing things. You don't want to look crazy. That's the main thing, really, That you don't want to...
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us, Karanna. I must come along to one of your workshops on a Monday at your place, where you can sit down quietly and absorb all of that.
Yeah.
That energy. Very nice. Thank you.
And worked very carefully on the culture of peace. And it is a one culture for a one world. What Karanna is doing is the vibes and clearing the way, but because we know that we live in an unsettled and unsteady world, and at any time we can land an overdose of anxiety or anger, no matter who or what we are, no matter what culture, religion, code, creed. We all need to experience and practice how inside ourselves to achieve deep peace. So part of my exploration around the world led me to the World Meditation Museum, where I meditated with Sister Jenna, who is one of the world leading meditation teachers. today, and she is likely to come out here and be with us. Because she's going to be with us, I thought I would share one of her meditations with you, that you might practice it for yourself. Because this is about deep peace inside yourself. It's a practice that the Dalai Lama uses. It's a practice that we can all use when we experience stress of any kind, because we can't carry stress, anxiety, anger. It simply doesn't work. Now, I would like to actually devote this practice that we're doing now for Brian. Brian walked and talked here, and we're all responsible, really, for what has just happened, because we don't teach deep peace to each other and we don't actually practice it. So while we're still and comfortable, I suggest that we all close our eyes and we do this little meditation together, saying that we are going to be peaceful souls, and that our mantra, and it's the mantra I use, is I am a peaceful soul. If anybody asks me who or what I am, my immediate reaction is I am a peaceful soul, that I do not carry anything but the beauty that I've just heard in these sounds, and the clarity and the pureness and the clearness of it at one with existence. So in order to do this, we need to breathe the way the Dalai Lama does, and he's not the only one. Many of the world leaders are taught to do this. Obama does it. Is first of all, when you know you're going into crisis, tension, or when you know that you are putting yourself into anxiety, is to take 3 deep breaths. But you take the breath in through your nose, and that is all for you. That air is all for you. You take as much as you can, and then you breathe out through the mouth. That long out breath is for others. You don't need that breath anymore. By doing this 3 deep breath exercise, stilling yourself, closing your eyes, and when you breathe and go out through your mouth, holding that feeling of absolute emptiness and space as long as you can. And then breathing in through your nose again, a breath all for you of the wonderful oxygen and vibes around you. And of course, from the moment you're born, you're breathing until the moment you die. It's all provided. Peace is actually in the air. And you can, if you say, I'm going to breathe in peace for me, what I don't need, I'm giving out for others. So doing that now, with your eyes closed, feel the warmth of your body and feel your heart beating. You can feel the emptiness in that long space between breaths, and feel the warmth of life, and you begin to feel your clear existence. Everything is clearing. Stay conscious of your breath, and you can stop breathing out and through your mouth, but breathing deeply. Now let us start to imagine. First of all, imagine you have no name. You have no status. You have no gender. You have no race. You have no boundaries. No limitations. You are one with all life. You are free, clear, pure, whole. You are one with all existence. You are a peaceful soul. Stay in this place a while, conscious of being part of all existence, inextricably connected to all life, aware that you are immeasurable, whole, creative, aware you have no name, no gender, no creed, no race, no limitations. And now with this wonderful feeling, slowly come back into the presence, staying in that peaceful state of being. Coming back to determine that you're going to practice this deep peace regularly.
They came to the Lord, heaps of people. And throughout my Christian life, I led a pretty good Christian life. And then one day, after about being in the Christian church for about 15 years, in fact, at the age of 18, we built the first Bethel Chapel in Ōpōtiki. You won't see that Bethel Chapel anymore because it's the Pāhara Keke now in St. John Street. We built that church as a church for the exclusive Brethren Church. But when the Māoris joined it, they became open Brethren. And that's when I joined in and started the crusade of going out to win people for the Lord. I actually ran the Billy Graham campaign in Ōpōtiki here, and Billy Graham was ready to take me to the world. Here's this dumb Maori that could come along and shove the scripture down your throat, and you became a Christian. About a week before we were to depart to America, I went to a little social down the road, and I met this beautiful woman. So I took her to church the next Sunday, and I said, here is my wife, future wife. I'm going to marry her in this church. And you know what the pastor said to me? You can't marry her, she don't belong to our church. Well, right that moment I said, you're not God, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. But I went back to Bougainville to apologize to those people in Bougainville for driving a bulldozer through their villages and destroying them. Unknowingly I did that, because they sent me over to Bougainville to drive a bulldozer to the copper mine. Well, I didn't know there was tangata whenua there protesting about all this. When I found out, I quit the job and they sent me home. That was the time I went back to try and find out who I really am. So I went back to the Whanawānanga of the East and in Mahia, the last wānanga of the old ancient kōrero that they were going to have. So I was fortunate to be one of those students to join that. And they gave us the Māori astrology, and also another concept, the teardrop wānanga. Let's talk about the teardrop wānanga. What causes a teardrop?
Emotion?
No? What causes that emotion?
Sadness.
Pardon?
Sadness.
What causes sadness? Loneliness. He was there by himself in Te Kore, and he desired somebody. He wanted company. Don't you? It's a natural thing to happen. He was in Te Kore. He was in nothingness, but he existed. They tell us the atoms were there and they got split one day. Well, that atom, I believe, when it got split, was the day he decided to become two. How I know that is, we have a positive and a negative in us. True? I go like this. That's God, and this Whaariko. Here's the male and here's the female. Isn't that right? Without the male, without the female, there's no next generation. End of story. So I went to where do I fit into the picture? I was born on the 15th of September. So I went to the Greek astrology and I had a look. Oh, I'm a Virgo. So I get the Virgo book out and I have a look. Virgo. What a job. You are to scrutinize man's ways of what he has done with our gifts. And you are to sharply remind them of their errors. And for this, we give you the gift of purity of thought. Wow! To me, an ordinary Māori, I haven't got a pure thought in my damn head. Have I? Have you? Hey? I haven't. Purity of thought. Then I thought, better have a look in the Māori translation and hear it, what it says. You are to purify people's thoughts about us and yourself. You start with yourself. You're part of me, and there's two of you. There's a male side and a female side. There's a negative and a positive. Here's the example. You put your fingers in that light, what will happen? you're dead. You get a battery terminal, positive, negative, put them together, what do you get? A spark. That's what I'm talking about. The glimmering glow of light that God put into his female essence to bring out the 12 children they had. Starting from Matariki, Gemini, and ending at Taurus, Rehua. We hear our ancestors, our tipunas, our kura was saying on the marae, haere kia rehua. Haere kia rehua. Te kaitia ki o te pō. That means when we are farewelling our dead, we're farewelling them to the God of the underworld, which is Rehua in our world and Taurus in your world. And that's where I come from in my walk of life today. I practice the gift and the purpose he gave me. In that purpose, he gives you a choice to do good or evil. It's your choice. He doesn't make the choice for you. It's your choice. Oh yeah, I've chosen the bad side too. Yeah, I've walked the bad side. And I walked the good side. But now I'm walking in the middle. Where my job, where my whakapapa, where my gift tells me to be. To purify people's thoughts about God the Creator and how he created my Māori world. I don't know how he created your Pākehā world, but that's how he created my Māori world for me, which is in turmoil today. And it's here in this black book, your purpose, your gift, and the way for you to do your job, so that one day, if we all do our job, we all do the things we're supposed to be doing, we'll become one. Because only when we become one, and only then, we can all go home. Why? We all be at home, all one. So, if you want your God-given potential, here it is in here. Plus, I can give you the middle. What I do with my students, I give them the middle, the beginning, the middle, and the ending. The beginning is about the history of the creation, and then what your job should be, what your job is, and where you're going to end up. So, to me, I belong to a group called Hauhanga Rongo. That means reconciliation and peace. So until you reconcile yourself with your genealogy and your whakapapa and your job on this earth, then and only then you'll be able to do the job you were brought on this earth to do. I thought I was brought on this earth to be a mischief, but along the way I've learned no, there's other things, better things to do, like what we're doing today, like what I'm doing today for my people, fighting for the rights to be able to live and administer our land for our benefit, for all of us. And that's all I do. I just give you your gift, eh? So it starts from Gemini, ends up at Taurus. So if you want your full God-given potential, here it is. Come and get it whenever you want. At 153 Duke Street, Ōpōtiki. And I'll even tell you about another purpose I've started, and that's the Aotearoa Cooperative Honey Company. That's another story. Yara.
Is there any particular story you might like to tell us about your journey, be it the mischief or on the good side? Is there
Oh yes. There's the bad side to everything. When they told me I couldn't marry my wife, my wife I still have today, I just went to the church and everything else and joined the Mongrel mob. I had been in the Mongrel mob years before that. When they used to have what they call a blossom festival every year in Hawke's Bay. They don't have that anymore. Well, there used to be a blossom festival held every spring in Hawke's Bay, and all the students from all over the universities of New Zealand used to go down there and celebrate the spring festival. One year got out of hand. They robbed and pillaged the towns and even the outlying farms. They went out there, killed stock and barbecued them on the fire by the river, all sorts of stuff. At the time I was in one of the freezing works, one of the 3 freezing works that were there. So we were at work when this happened. We called a meeting, the whole freezing works called a meeting outside in the yard. We're going to go do something about this. Look, there's our money being slaughtered along the riverbanks. All these cattle are being slaughtered and shot for no purpose. So we decided to join in with the police and clear these fellas out. And all the fellas from the freezing works all joined. And then the Wikotu freezing workers, they just went a little bit too far, you know. Instead of just giving them one slap, we actually gave them a kick and really bashed them about. When we turned up in court, because a few took us to court, when we turned up to court, he's a bunch of guys, looked like a whole lot of, I don't know what they were, but the judge called us a whole lot of mongrels that day. So that's when the mongrel ball started up in Hawke's Bay and it spread across the whole country. Sad to say, I was part of that, and it's still there today. And that's where I am now, trying to clean this up, trying to clean the mongrel mob up, this thing, and we started way back in those days. But over the years, I've been tied up with quite a few politicians, like Mr. I should be talking about the young Turk, Ron Muldoon. He came to us one time. Oh, he came down to me. I was in Wellington. He got into power. He says, "Mr. Wikotu, I have to talk to you in my private chamber." So we went up to the beehive and he says, "I got a proposition for you. I'll give you $1 million if you keep the peace." And he said, and I said, "Oh yeah." To all the gang, the Black Power, the Mongrel Mob, and the Headhunters. These were the Māori gangs going there. Oh, and something to do with leopards, Black Panthers. That's all the Māori gangs in New Zealand going at the time. Rob Muldoon comes to me because I was part of the Mongrel Mob. You get the mobsters together, the leaders, and the Black Power leaders together, because you know them all, and the Headhunter leaders, get them together, come talk to me. Go down there. That's what he offered us. $1 million a chapter. we keep the peace while he was in power. How many years was Muldoon in power? 8 years? The peace. Peace was there for 8 years because we made sure to keep it. Other gangs took the money, but only took work. That was my chapter. We took work. And he said, how am I going to get you $200 work? I said, just give us a contract somewhere. He said, what area do you like? I said, Upper Hutt. So he gave us a job keeping the railways clear of all the trees, you know, in those cuttings of trees and that. And he was giving us $14,000 a week just to do that. As long as I got 15, 18 men at work every day, money was rolling in. It was good. 8 years later, still good. There's no crime happening. Then Muldoon went out of power and then everything just went boom again. Here we are. Cracks in the country, eh? Peas in the country. All sorts of toxic drugs in the country. How did it happen? Eh? The system fell down. Now I'll tell you what the Black Power done well out of here, because they built a village right by the motorway. And they extended the motorway just not long ago, and they got 55 million for their village. And when the headhunters set up White Parade Trust. And the only ones that didn't do anything out of that was the mongrel mob. Because I shut it down because while we were doing these reconciliation huis, they were setting up to hit all the armoured vehicles, armoured cars in Auckland. So we backed out of that. We said, close up shop, backed out. And then I said to Māori, watch out what they're going to do. Next minute they're all in jail, still in jail now to Auckland. Auckland, a lot of mongrel mob. Yeah, they're still there. But getting back to our God-given potential, my job is to purify people's thoughts about them, what they're doing, what they shouldn't be doing, what they should be doing. It's pretty easy. You teach yourself. I just give it to you. Hey, like Karanna gives us the sound. I love that. Because without that sound, we wouldn't be here. Hey.
Tell us about your conversion to Christianity. What about the experience with the pastor? The first pastor you saw?
Oh yes. My mummy used to go and attend these church services, and I'd have to take her, right? And I'd just first get to the church, into the back, get ready for sleep. All these fellas are preaching the gospel. I was lying down there, and then all of a sudden I hear this voice. Hey, look around, there's no brown faces. There's a little white pocket brother standing there. And he's speaking Māori to me. The pastor. And I'm saying, whoa, look at this. And then anyway, I listen and listen, and the next minute, I was up the front. Yes, I want to be one of those. Lift that stage up and baptize me in there now.
That was quick.
Yes.
So you fell in love with the blonde pastor who was speaking Māori?
Yeah, and I followed him like he was the white angel, eh? After a while I found out, he's the fellow that sits with the king, Waikato, Ernie Edwards. Eh? Ever heard about that fellow? Ernest Edwards is his name. And Man, he could speak Māori and he could preach the gospel. And I said, I want to be like that fella. If he can talk Māori like that and preach the gospel like that, I want to be like him. Yeah, so I went to Wrongia Bible School for 2 years to learn all about the Bible. And I learned the Bible from cover to cover. And that's how I know about that one piece of scripture that says, let us make man in our own image. Who was he talking to? What? Who was he talking to? He was talking about Karanna, sound, and other things. I believe he was talking to his female side. Whaia Rikoriko. That's the name of it in our world. Io matua kore, and Whaia Rikoriko. He was nothing, but with them connecting, she put the light into him. She gave him essence. She gave him the earth. Hey, because that's what the earth is today, Papa. Io. That's where I believe I come from. Just like what the Bible says. God created man out of the bosom of the earth. But that was Papa Tuanuku. That was Hine Titama. Hey. The negative aspects of our being. God is the positive aspect of our being. And earth, the wahine, the lady, the female, is the negating part of that power. Right? No? If you put your finger in that socket, it will kill you. But if you've got 2 pieces of wire connected to positive and negative on the battery, put them together, it will not kill you, but it gives you a bit of a tingle, but it causes a spark, a life-giving spark, not a death-giving spark. That's my explanation anyway.
Jim, do you relate Māori astrology and the stars to what you learnt as far as the Virgo, did that come together for you from what you had learnt?
Yes.
To marry them?
I found that the Māori names coincided with the Pākehā name,
Yeah.
well, the Greek,
Yeah.
the Chinese, you look at them. And the other thing too that I know of is the Virgo is the only, the Virgo is the one that really portrays God's true potential. The Virgo is the only perfect one. It's not part animal or part fish. All the other star signs are part animal, part fish. And I believe that the Virgo is the one that portrays the purity of God, not the purity of the human. The purity that's in God. That's the purity of thought. There's another thing I was told too, that it's in our whakapapa, that when you're born, you're still under the mantle and the protection of your Maker, of God. Until the day that your pineal chakra closes off. Karanna spoke about the chakras, the 7 chakras in the Māori astrology. There's the pineal, and there's the what we call it, the kanohi o te ao, the third eye, the throat, the heart, and so forth. But these ones here are all to do with the celestial. From here down, well, it's all earthly. It's all earthly. That's for you to take up and do, the human, to walk at the bottom jaw, right? Ka wai runga, ka wai roro. Everything above here is spiritual. Spiritual. Everything below the top jaw is physical. That's the whakapapa I was given. And I stick by that, work by that. And I also enhance the other culture beliefs around me, because it fits in with all of it, the sound, like the sound and the spirit, and this, this up here, purpose, see? That's the thing I will look at, my purpose. Why am I here? Eh? I'm not just here to produce other, well, I can't be here to produce other humans because I haven't got no children, can't have children. So what the hell is my other purpose? So here it is. Purify people's thoughts about us and our creation. And if they're not doing it properly, you sharply remind them. And that gives me credibility. It gives me the power and the authority to do it. And if people feel intimidated by that, good. It's prompting their heart to do something about it. And the thing is, what I do every day was I was taught this by this one fella. Every day to get the harmony right. Get the harmony right. You put your finger on your forehead, there, right there, where that seeing eye is. You put your finger there, and you hold it there, and when you remove it, you put it on your heart for a while. You just breathe in it, like China, breathe it in. You're breathing in the cosmos. And then you put it back on there. Spot again, and you can feel the heat of it joining. The heart joining the brain, causing harmony. Just have to do that. I do it just naturally every morning now. I just go, and I look in the mirror and I go, morning, God. I went into a church service one day, and they said, well, would you like to speak? I said, yes, certainly. That's what I said. Has anybody seen God? Put up your hand. And I put up my hand. Nobody else put their hand up. I said, what's wrong with you people? Haven't you seen God? No, nobody has seen God. The Bible says so. And I said, what? The Bible also says, let us make man in our own image. So every time I look in the mirror, I say, morning, God. And I'm like, isn't that the image of God that He portrays before me? That's my concept of God's image in the mirror. Just like how He wanted me to be, like Him. So a lot of people, I don't know whether they were offended or not, but I said,
shocked, I think.
There it is, in that sentence, let us make man in our own image. I was made in God's image, so every time I look in the mirror, morning, God, and lifts my spirit. And the brother said to me, oh, you're just putting yourself up the same level as God. I said, well, I am God in His image. But people think differently. What the heck, eh? God gave me a purpose. And if people don't like what I do, well, tough. If they don't like it, oh, God must be speaking to their heart, right? Then they can go away and think about it. Sometimes they come back, you're right, Tim, what shall I do? Well, here, have a look what you should be doing. I can be telling you what you're doing. Here, have a look.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
God says this is what you should be doing. So what's your best star, Bob? What's your best star?
Not far from you.
Eh? Aries.
12/12/32.
Eh?
December.
You must remember, the Māori lunar months are different to the Western lunar months. Ours start in Matariki. The new moon in that month, May, June. Okay? So sometimes...